Everyone, and we were taking a look at Sentience, the Android's Tale. Sentience is an indie adventure game produced by Pilgrim Adventures, published by Grab the Games, available on Steam right now for about $4. It is as far as games go, it's okay. It's passable. It's a game. You move things, you press buttons, it works. It's a game. But that's not where the strength is. That's not where the strength is. It's a pretty good work of science fiction. If you're into science fiction, then Sentience, if you want another sci-fi story, Sentience is pretty good. It touches on transhumanism, AI rights, Chinese room arguments, these kind of nice, heady science fiction things people like to talk about and like to read about. Sentience, it puts you in the role of an android, and that's the perspective you get going through all these things. And humanity is a big theme overarching the game. Was me to be human? Who's human? What are some people more? Is there more? Can you be more human than other people? As a robot, are you human as an android? Are the other androids human? Because you're a very special android. You've been in this world of sentience. The humans have prevented the singularity. They have prevented the AI revolution. Before the AI got out of hand, they put a stop to it. It was called the Revolution. The game suggests there's a little more violence than most people would say and think about, but humans developed AI, the AI began to research their own technologies, began to grow themselves, and gave humans the ability to explore space and all that. But before the AI, wiped out humanity and decided that they didn't want to be with humans anymore, humans put a break on it, scrapped the most advanced AIs, killed a bunch, genocided the robot kind, and then any new AI have to have a terminus chip. This terminus chip is a separate AI which monitors the original AI running. If the original AI begins to deviate, it begins to become a threat, then it is terminated. That's why it's called terminus chip. But your character in Sentience doesn't have his terminus chip. That's where the interesting thing. There's also something else placed in place of that, which you get to learn about as you progress. We're not gonna play much of Sentience. It's gonna be a pretty short video because, like I said, it's a story base. It's totally a story game, which I'm fine. I think that's a great way to tell a story through games. I think it's one of the best ways to actually tell a story because it places you as the character. Forces you to have that perspective of the character. So let's go. Let's check out the game proper. Probably not gonna be playing that much. Just do a full day, or maybe not even a full day, just to show you some of the gameplay and look and feel of the game. Because obviously it's all story based. I don't want to ruin much of the story. This is the first day. I want to show you this part. It's kind of funny. Here's our robot, the black and white character in the middle, and then we have these two engineers here speaking. Wonder what it could be. Everyone hates it when you mumble to yourself like that. I have a feeling something's not right with this droid. I want to take a look at its core programming. I assume the governor gave you clearance for that. Won't take more than a couple hours to look diagnostic. You do and I'll report you. We haven't got time for you to start tinkering with your new toy. You're some of the things if you're the ranking officer around here is act like it then, do your fucking job. Cussing in this game has a language, doesn't go very often, but it's in there. These people you're in a colony, you've been sent to a frontier colony. It's a barren world. There's weird alien life forms and plants, and nobody on this team is really entirely sure why they're there. They're doing some research for this company. There's two stations, Alpha Station, Beta Station. Beta Station seems to be where a lot of other things are going on, but no one here really knows about those details yet. And there's a lot of resentment. A lot of people don't want to be here. There's a lot of resentment and a lot of restlessness, and you pick that up as you go throughout the game. And he says, Pupkip, are you alright? I don't know why I named this droid Pupkip. My original droid is named Crichton. Named the second one Pupkip. Run a self-diagnostic for me so everything worked properly. We say, this is one of the really cool features is that, like I said, we have our terminus chip has been removed and it's been replaced with something else. So that gives us we have a little bit more free will. So when you have dialogue choices, you have one choice is highlighted. That's what you want to say as a robot. That's what your programming tells you to say. You want to admit someone has interfered with you. But you can also lie or say other things that go against your programming. You can make those free choices. Which here we can lie and say all our systems are okay. Or we can talk back to them. If we don't lie, if we follow our programming, there, see, I told you. Restoring the factory settings. We die. Game over. So you do have to lie sometimes. But it creates kind of this interesting thought where, because not always, there's loud tunes. Okay, not always are you Not always do you want to lie. Sometimes the programming decision or the programming statement or whatever, the one that you are pre-programmed to prefer, seems just fine, and you go along with that. And sometimes you find yourself going along with it a lot, and you start to think like, am I a robot? Am I just a human? Are these robotic morals and preferences? Is that, it just kind of reflects on your own ideas of free choice. And I thought it was a nice little touch to have in there, because there's not really any real consequence of choosing to go with or against your programming. It's just the choices, what you say and do, they have their own natural consequences. If you choose to go with or against your programming throughout the game, doesn't really mean much. So I like that's there just for your own benefit, and I really like that for the sake of the audience. Good, you're awake. I want you to know something's the next day. I skipped that previews the first day. I want you to know something. You sorry excuse for an AI. Your days are numbered. I know you told the governor about extracurricular interest. You really think you'd cross me and get away with it? Mark my words, first hint of any deviation, I'll have you put out of commission for good. So that guy, he had a special task for us on the first day, which I refused. I said, no thank you, sir, I'm not going to do that. Then told the governor he was making some weird requests, and obviously he didn't like that. It looks like there'll be some consequences for that. The first time I played through, I did do it for him, and then there are some big consequences for following along with his weird requests. Looks like in this playthrough, he's just going to be on our tail a little bit. Game's all about choices and consequences, and that's what the story is about. And up to consequences, up to and including death. One of the things I did different on this run, whenever you start, also is nice, you're a robot, your objectives are automatically downloaded into your database. So, we have to talk to Chet, Rocket, and Ketty. That's nice. You don't have to go find it just tells you what you need to do every day. We go out into here, walk around so we can find some friends. Oh, did it not happen today yet? Oh, it's not happened today yet. Might be next day. What I was going to look for, I guess it is the next day. What I was going to look for is that there was a mission to check the sensor perimeter. One of the sensor pylons is broken. You can tell the security chief, hey, it's broken. Watch out when you take care of this, or you can lie to him and say everything's fine. The first time I played through it, I told him it was broken. They posted, they took extra precautions, and then later on there's an animal attack, and a person is wounded. If you say, I assume that this playthrough, having lied, someone will die. So I was hoping we could see that. I guess it's the next day, actually. What's our mission logs? Go do some mission. Talk to Chet in Agriculture 3. We have this nice area map. Here's all of Alpha Station. You also get access to Beta Station later on, which I mentioned. I mean, I mentioned its existence. You do get to go there. Small spoiler. You get to go to Beta Station. It's pretty much expected. Agriculture 3 is like down here somewhere. Down here to the bottom right. It's not that big of an area, although you do walk kind of slowly. You figure out your way around really quickly. This bright sunlight vignette. They do cute little things with the vignettes. Every time you complete a task, it gets progressively, the day progresses and it gets darker, which is a cute touch. It does get aesthetically kind of distracting when it's dark out, and sometimes you're on these, these hunt things down missions, and you can't see where you're going. You can't see very well. That'd be very annoying. Understand you have a task for me. Yeah, that's right, a pretty menial one. Shop brought heroes delivered some new agricultural supplies, like his canisters of fuel. Thing is, I have a bad back. Usually I ask Green 1 to help out, but I can't seem to find him. You bring these canisters inside. Appreciate it, Pupkip. He walks away. We're like, okay, cool. Let's grab these for him. They explode! Assessing damage. You actually survived this. I didn't die at all my first playthrough. That one where you admit your program assaulting and you die right away. That was just me going back through to get the video ready. I found that. Otherwise, have not died yet in the game. Oh, let's go pick up our arm. Our arm laying on the ground. The techs hear the explosion, they come out. Oh crap, that's not good. That much this feels highly volatile? Feels like I should have mentioned that. You think? Oh, pop up your arm. Doesn't hurt anything, does it? Our receptors are registering some discomfort. I'm missing a limb. What do you think? My arm, what did I say? My arm. Yes. Sorry, Pupkid. It's all my fault. Please say it's gonna blow up the entire base, Chet. You should go get yourself patched up. Yeah, I should. Blew up my arm. We'll pathetically take our arm. And what does it tell us to do on our mission log now? Get yourself repaired. I guess we go to Dr. Rocket. That's First Engineer Rocket. Side of the south side of the base. But I mean, he's gonna not want us to only have one arm, so we should go up to someone that can fix up our arm. I think that's Giddy, the pilot. That or it's Yuria, the second engineer. Characters, there's a handful of colonists. There's like a 16 colonists or something like that. You have a database. I don't think I have everyone unlocked. Yeah, I don't have everyone on. I haven't talked to everyone yet. As you talk to everyone, you get their little bios and pictures in here, and it's nice to refer to, especially when you get later on quests. Having the database to refer to where you might be able to find certain creatures, which we haven't found any yet in this playthrough, or where you might be able to find certain people. Really convenient. Hello, can you put my arm back on? I haven't even talked to Yuria yet. Doesn't look so good. I've only been here for a day and you're losing body parts. Give me your arms. I have your arm. Of course, you have an inventory system as you would expect from a game like this. Yeah, we got our arm back. There you go, good as new. Completed a mission. So now when we go outside, you'll see the daytime got a little bit darker. Yeah, see, or it's still, I mean, it's still actually middle of the day. I guess we need to get a little bit further to advance time. Outside beside the oasis. Talk to Rocket then. At the story, it gets a lot more. I mean, things start to happen, and you start to see that maybe the space is well. There's some things going on here. Not everyone is what they seem to be. One criticism I have about the story is that it advances very quickly. So there's like 12 days. It's not very long that you're here and that the game comes to a conclusion. I wish it would take its time. At the same time, I wish it was faster, but I wish the important parts would progress more quickly. The menial parts would progress more quickly, and there's more of them. I wish I had more menial stuff that I could do very quickly to get more attached to these characters. By the time I actually care about who these people are and remember their names and what they look like and what they do and actually have some connection to them, the game is almost over. The story is almost at its conclusion. So near the end of the story, then I'm really invested. But it takes me a long time to get there, and I'm not for the first several days. I almost half the game. I didn't care about these people. They're just little texts. You know, there's little text boxes. So if there was more humanity shown early on, I would really like to see that. Don't stare at me like that. It's really creepy. Keep staring. Stop it, I said. I don't mean anything by it, it's easy to forget that you aren't a person. And that's one thing really nice about these characters, is that they treat you, that many of the characters treat you in different ways. Some of them treat you basically as a person, they treat you respectfully, they speak to you, they say your name, they treat you just like they would anyone else. Some of the characters treat you as a alien, more or less. They understand you're sentient, you have your own mind going on, you're doing your own things, but they don't trust you, they don't understand you, they're very wary of you, and some people are straight up anti-robot, and they treat you like dirt, and they hate you, and they're scared of you. And some people just treat you as a tool. You're a machine, they don't pay you any mind, you're just there to do tasks and work for them. So that's part of the story, is how these characters respond to you as a AI. And part of that, like I mentioned, AI rights, transhumanism. These characters all treat you different ways. And then you can respond back to them in different ways. The superior mind, you mean. Guess I was programmed to extra bitchiness, huh? Yeah, I deserve that. That's still something. I believe you have a task for me. Yes, maybe I do. But I'm not giving you any meaningful work. Professor Spears, go talk to Professor Spears. See that we are of sound programming, of sound mind. Because he still doesn't trust our programming. Little does he know it's a good idea because we are crazy broken. But no one knows that. No one at the station knows how broken we are as a robot. Also need to talk to Kitty at HQ and Agriculture 2. Agriculture 2, I think so. Here. Need to help covering a rogue android. It'll pop up here. I think this is Agriculture 2. Are you kidding? Yeah, you are. Your saturated over agricultural droids has gone AWOL. Green 1 just wandered out in the desert. This happened last night, early this morning. Doesn't exactly come as a surprise, the company only ever sends outdated, error-infested droids. I understand that rule. Yes, your text seems to be quite archaic. Say nothing. Not very nice. That's why I said it the first time. I am the exception to that rule. We'll see about that. I'm gonna need your help. trackers, beeping is higher pitched. I'm gonna head out to retrieve it, figure out how you come along. I know your droids have your own weird little language, talk some sense to it. Told me what happens that you refuse to do something for him. You don't want to make that mistake with me. When we're out in the desert, you'll do exactly as I say. You see, that's another little bit of consequence for that choice of refusing to help the doctor. The other characters are more wary of us. He's spreading rumors that we're a bit rebellious. There we go. Now time has passed a little bit. Once it becomes dark, you are required to go back to your station in charge. I say required because that's the only way to advance time. Otherwise, you can just wander around as much as you want to, but when it's nighttime, that means you've completed all the objectives, so you don't need to do anything else. Here's our Halo Warhog. Nice reference there. I'm ready. Let's go. Not wasting more time. Listen to that Warhog engine. Beautiful. Well, here's green 1. Where's the thing it's going? Or you come in, see if you can talk to it, figure out what went wrong, more importantly, get it to come back with us. Good luck. So here we go. You have a few adventures outside of the colony. Usually the Jeep. You don't get to drive the Jeep, of course. I guess they don't give androids driver's licenses. As you approach the agriculture droid, it turns and examines you almost disdainfully. It clearly seems to believe that your android form is inferior to its own specialized design. However, it also grudgingly recognizes you as superior. It may also touch on some inter-robot relationships and how these AIs interact with one another. They don't touch on that too much. That's, you're the only android. Those are droids. In this world, I suppose those are interchangeable. I mean, you're the only androids, and you're the only human replica. They call them mimics. They also call them mimics in this world. There's some hidden TV show Easter eggs you can find. They go into that at some point, either realistic or in fiction. These robots were clones of humans, basically. They may not have even known themselves. Had this nice Blade Runner thing to it. Only found a few of the episodes, but it had this nice Blade Runner feel to the show, and just little scenes, a little cutscene that comes up. And so many of the people call it mimics, and that's why, because I guess at some point some of these androids were human, very meant to resemble humans. But there are, of course, all these robots that aren't meant to resemble humans. And you touch into a little bit of their relationship, but not as much as some of the other concepts. So the droid for a few minutes, can't see any obvious hardware faults. You command the droid to begin the process of backwards chaining in order to determine how it came to be out here. The droid processes silently for a few minutes, indicating its command to come to its location and is presently awaiting further instructions. Ask who instructed him to come here. No one knows that a high-ranking operator commanded it to come out here. Ask if he received any other instructions. Nope. Self-diagnostic, no indication of any fault. Tell him, admonish him. Ready to return. Okay. Easy peasy. I follow this. Come back, talk to that guy. We did it. Nice work. That didn't take long. He tell you why it wandered off like that. Claim someone ordered to come here. Gave me no information. It was just a malfunction. That's all. I think first time I said someone told it to come out here. Let's hide. It was just a malfunction. Figured as much as suspect. Think we better go. See if we can get any more consequences. Any more different consequences to come up. Like I said, I found myself going with the programmed response a lot, which didn't feel good. I'm a person, and it said this is what the robot does, and I kept making the same decisions as the robot. That didn't feel very good. He's doing his job now. All is well that ends well, right? Anyway, that's all I needed for you. Nicely done. You're alright for a droid. See? He's a racist. He didn't like droids, and now we're the exception. All races have exceptions, and now we're that man's exception to being a droidist. Deputy Piers and talk to Ketty in HQ. I don't remember where Piers is. Piers might be in HQ as well. But you can change what your robot looks like slightly. You can change the skin, the handful of different color choices. And like I said, looks, as far as RPGmaker games are concerned, this one looks pretty good. There are a lot of RPGmakers that use the base assets, and they all look the same. Like this one has this nice little oblique perspective, sci-fi. Like I said, reminds me of Fallout, the original Fallout. I don't know. Eddie and Pierce was down. I'm telling you, these sandbugs are going to make me lose my mind. They get everywhere, they never seem to sleep, and the buzzing always the buzzing. Find out Governor being ridiculous. Trust me, this desert heat will drive you insane long before the sandbugs do. See, the colonists don't necessarily live it on this planet. How do bugs even get in our living quarters? Aren't the air filters supposed to take care of that? Perhaps they're super intelligence. The Cretus holds a great many mysteries after all. Right, super intelligent bugs, that would be just my luck. For sure your arm's set, but somebody else, Dr. Walden perhaps? That's not it. I know how to deal with Walden. Good thrashing. Eddie, I know. And they are implying some things that maybe, how did the bugs get into there? It's another mystery. Actually becomes significant. We've seen lost contact with our colleagues at Beta, Signal, Beta Station. Force laws are all alone on this planet. A small team research, secondary base xenobiologists mostly. That's important. They're xenobiologists studying creatures of Critus. That means there are 24 colonists here in total. Sorriest assortment of castaways I ever did see. Lost signal's probably a technical fault. First of all, you should check the transmitter on the exterior of this building. Already tried to fix it this morning. Communication there was my forte. Once you do that, blah blah blah. Won't call talk to them. I got it. Doing good work. Keep it up. Oh, thank you, buddy. You can also get. There's a vending machine upstairs. I think it's the one. You get the vending machine. You get juice and give it to people. I get an achievement for doing that. Well, access view verify state of your core programming. Let's see if we can mess this up intentionally and get a different result. I'll present you with a couple scenarios. I'd like to know how you would respond to each of them. Picture this. Control room, badly damaged starship. Mess hall is running an auction. There are 5 people trapped inside. You flick switch for auction for cargo bay. There's only 1 crew member, thus sacrificing 1 life to save the R5. What would you do? I'll flick the switch to save the maximum number of lives. Interesting. I imagine a very similar scenario. We're on another damaged starship with 6 crew members, all of whom are alive but unconscious. You reach the nearest refuge station, but the whole ship is running low on oxygen. It's going to run out before each station. Everyone will die. Calculate that drag 1 of the crew members to the airlock and jettison them. There'll be enough oxygen for the remaining 5 to survive. Hey, we rhymed. What'd you do? Let's say no, that would be murder. Very interesting. Let me explain how this little test of mine works. Each scenario is you're being asked to sacrifice 1 life to save 5 lives. The answers you gave to each scenario are not that important, since different AI systems operate according to different ethical frameworks. Thou shalt not kill does not always apply, as these 2 scenarios demonstrate sometimes killing is necessary to preserve life. What matters to me is the logical consistency of your answers, so I intentionally answered the opposite each time. Humans are logical creatures who often give different answers depending on how the question is framed. When you're prepared to flick a kill switch when faced the prospect of actually dragging someone to their death, they will refuse. The ethical system androids, however, means that they should answer the same way in both scenarios. Curiously, you're more like a human, inconsistent. For a machine, that is troubling. I'm not sure there's anything wrong with you, but I'm afraid I'll have to inform Rocket that he didn't pass the test. Better go and see him. The first time, if you answer both, he just says, yeah, he clears to go work for him. And one thing really cool that I wish they did more of this right here. So there's this TV station. You can operate it. Turns on. And you get this cutscene from security cameras for the previous day. Can't believe they're making us work with a goddamn mech. Here we go, some more anti-AI sentiment. Gonna have to get used to it sooner or later, Rusty. Until he phases out, you mean like what happened to my old man? They promised us that droids are gonna make things easier, that all our lives would be better. But things are worse than ever. The rich got richer and the poor got poorer, just like before. You can't phase this out, there are rules and regulations now. The revolution is over, in case you didn't notice. We won. Did we? Because for some reason there's still a mimic wandering all over the place. I know, you can't seem to shut up about it. Don't worry, I'll shut up when it kills us all in our sleep. You have issues, Rusty. Oh, do you see transcend? Oh, well, that's creepy. And then that must be him leaving to go into the desert. Did you say something? Nope. Didn't even notice the android just muttered something and wandered up the... It's those kind of scenes that I would really like to see more of. Not just in this... you can see the previous day's security footage. That's pretty cool. The game doesn't really point it out. You have to find this to yourself, which is a shame, because I missed quite a few days of this first time I played. But more scenes like that. More that humanity coming through for me to get adjusted to these characters, for me to get attached to these characters. Oftentimes you're treated as a fly on the wall as you speak with characters and they speak to one another and you're standing there and you're listening, you pick up on that during a lot of your missions, interactions. There's even more of that when I go into rooms. Let's say I go into a building that I don't have a mission for, that I have no reason to be in. You know, sometimes let there be something happening. Maybe some characters having an argument or a discussion. Maybe there's something going on. Maybe I catch characters doing something they're not supposed to be doing. Interject some. I would love to see some more humanity interjected in a lot of scenes. Otherwise, you're kind of just... You see what you're supposed to see when you're supposed to see it. Except for the exception being that security footage and the special TV show that you can find some hidden episodes for. I would have liked to have seen even more like that. More to this little colony. Make it feel more alive. That's the problem. The colony lacks a little bit of life. Third mission log. Gotta go talk to Rusty and something else. Turn a rocket, examine the transmitter. That's right. Not sure why the music picked up now. Examine our transmitter. I felt really stupid the first time I did this level. This mission. Examine. Should be able to fix it with the right tools. So I'm like, oh, okay, I need tools. And I walked around for like 15 minutes looking for tools. The toolbox is literally right here. So I take it, use item, toolbox. We fixed it. It's literally that easy. Took me so long the first time. I was so mad. All remains is use the communications console inside headquarters. Establish a link. We'll go talk to them. Yeah, give it some more. I wanted to see more life at Acritus Station. It's missing life, and for a story that's entirely about humanity, that's pretty significant. That it oftentimes lacks its own humanity. I understand there's the engine can be restrictive in how you can have people do what. The RPGmaker is the most robust engine for games. They do a decent job when things do need to move. They have animals that wander around, but some of the animals wander around. Other animals are only going to move in certain scripted scenarios. Many of the animals stand completely still like a statue. So you have a situation which you're on the space where a lot of the people are static. Everything's static. There's too much static, both in the models and the actions and the animations, but also in the story. There's not a lot of strings that you can grab onto. You have the main story that you're following down the road, not a lot of branches to pursue to learn more about these characters, about their interactions, about their relationships especially. You have those recordings, and you have the story mission, you have the missions that they'll come up in, but otherwise you can't really explore to learn too much more independently. I would like to see that. It's more independent discovery of these characters, of their relationships, and how you relate to them, how they relate to one another. Because as a player, that can really pull you in and make you invested. So you can keep the story going. Because like I said, I didn't really get invested until almost halfway through the game, which is not a good sign. That's the wrong console. Not bad. So this console is not that console. This console, I forget which console is the communication console. There it is. Professor Seiler, Mr. Morning, checking on the situation. There's a technical fault, everything's fine. It's fine now, I fixed everything. Oh, I must be the new android. Surprised I didn't assign you to work with us at Beta Station. We certainly could use you out here. Be much better use of talents than cabbage farmers over at Alpha Station. Perhaps I'll put in a request. Stay in touch. Alright, and that's that. Mission completed. Let's go finish up the day, and I think that wraps up our opinions about Sentience. My impressions thereof. Even though I completed the whole game, it's still totally impressive. This is not a review. This is not... Report back to Ketty. Oh, I didn't report back to Ketty, my bad. Even though she was right there, and easily would have overheard it. Report back to Ketty. Yeah, it's not a review, even though I did play through the entire game. I did not give it enough thought to call as a review. No way. There's no way. Communications are working. That's good news. Probably fixed before long. Something good about the weather and atmosphere on the godforsaken planet keeps throwing out communications out of whack. So I'd say the world is cursed. Eddie, you might be more right than you know. Alright, it's getting dark, like I said. As you progress the day, it gets darker and darker. Which is a nice touch, but can make certain missions a little frustrating. Also, I'm going to mention I'm playing this on the controller. You can totally just do mouse and keyboard. And by mouse and keyboard, I mean pretty much entirely the mouse. You can just click on where you want to go and click your options, which is great. And I really like the gamepad control, because that's much more ergonomic for me. I'm using my hands on the computer all day. So having that option's fantastic. It works really well. You just walk around and press A when you're close to things. Or whatever, equivalent button on what kind of gamepad you're using. Seems like Professor shares my suspicions about you. That's a real shame. Could have used your help setting up this water purifier, but now I'm not going to take that chance. I'll be watching you. Ah! So, I just fall on time to return. So, if you pass the test, then he gives you, a mission to do, and you help him set up his water purifier. Looks like now he doesn't trust us enough to actually assign us any work. What are you doing out here? Really? Oh, hi, Early. You're just out here staring at the water? Not going to say anything about that, but, Hurley likes to spend her time near the water. So head back, like I said, at night. Head back to your station and recharge. This is another time they could have taken advantage of things that you could find. Like maybe instead of going back to recharge, I go into a workplace, and maybe there's people staying after work doing something maybe they're not supposed to that I could find, or they have an argument, or I can overhear arguments in these houses or something. Some way to add a little more humanity to it. You do get one opportunity like that, but I wish there's more. I want more. I'm a modern gamer. I always want more. There you go, and that's our sleep. Of course, you save it every night. Day 3. Anything going on this morning? Before we cut it? Time to wake up. We had an incident this morning. A howler got inside a perimeter and it killed Finch. I told you the animal attack would kill somebody. Carter took care of the beast, but the doc says he's in shock. Better go see if there's anything you can do. Head south, you'll find him. Alright, well, we're just gonna end it right there. But that's the consequence of me not admitting that the station needed repair, that the perimeter needed repairing. I lied, said it was fine, so somebody got in, animal got in and murdered one of the colonists. There is an achievement for getting through the game without anyone dying. I didn't do that in my first playthrough. Obviously, on your second playthrough, you have a better idea of what the consequences are for what decisions, so it's be easier to avoid. But people can totally die. A couple places you can die. We already covered one of those. It didn't happen. Like, I wasn't under much threat the whole time, which is a bit of a shame. I think this game could have went. It's a little cliche, so I'm fine that they didn't do it at this point. They could have went a bit of a horror angle. I understand RPGmaker horror games are a little cliched at this point, but I think towards the end of the game, it really goes to a place where they could have gotten into some horror, especially with the AI, especially with the church. There's a church on site that has some beliefs that they come to play. Those could have come up. Just what's going on the planet could have been. They could have went a horror direction with it easily. They chose not to, and I understand that. I'm not going to criticize that. Like I said, RPGmaker horror game. It's a little cliched by this point, but that was Sentience. Like I said, a passable game. You move around, you press things, you look at stuff, as you would expect from a normal point and click. But as a science fiction story, it's pretty good. Explores a lot of science fiction tropes in a competent way. Artwork, pretty good for an RPG maker. Music's sparse but fitting, and I enjoyed the story a lot. Like I said, I actually played through the entire thing, so obviously I had to have enjoyed it a lot. So if you're looking for a good story, check out Sentience. Costs about as much as a sci-fi book, right? So instead of reading the book, you play through the book. I think that's a good way to think about Sentience. It's a nice little sci-fi novel that you just play through instead of reading. Anyway, thanks for watching. Leave a like, enjoy the video, subscribe for more fun, Twitch, Deal, and I'll see you next time.